There's no need for you to be here and take that risk, or at least get these things figured out.
Is it really worth the risk? That's the question hanging over this chaotic situation as things spiral out of control for Chrisean Rock and Blueface. Recently, their young son, Chrisean Jr., was reportedly taken by Child Protective Services, leaving the family in utter chaos. Rumors are swirling that the child has been placed in an orphanage, with no one knowing his exact whereabouts. And that's just the beginning of this shocking story. With Chrisean facing serious jail time and Blueface also locked up, the fate of their child is hanging in the balance. What really happened? And is there any hope for this troubled family? Stay tuned. This is one story you won't want to miss. Chrisean Rock's world is crumbling, and it's even worse than anyone could have imagined. Her young son, Chrisean Jr., has reportedly been taken by Child Protective Services, leaving the family in utter chaos. Rumors are swirling that the child has been placed in an orphanage, and no one knows where he is. But that's just the beginning of this shocking story. With Chrisean facing serious jail time and Blueface also locked up, the fate of their child hangs in the balance. So how did things get this bad? Well, let's be honest, who's really surprised that Chrisean Rock and Blueface have hit rock bottom? This is the kind of train wreck you can't look away from, and it seems like the situation just keeps getting worse. Chrisean is behind bars, promising personal growth and change, but is it too late? While she's talking about healing and dropping new music, her son, Chrisean Jr., is allegedly out in the real world, taken by cenat. Word on the street is that Chrisean Jr. has been living with Chrisean's best friend, Marcia, for the last month. Marcia is a loyal friend, and the baby is in good care with her. But here's the kicker. It's not just temporary. Rumor has it that cenat showed up at Marcia's door, took the baby, and now no one really knows where he is. Some sources say he's already been placed in a group home, while others whisper that a foster family is being sought out. Can you even imagine? A kid not even a year old, caught in this storm of drama and neglect, bouncing around from one uncertain place to another, it's heartbreaking. Let's not sugarcoat it. Chrisean and Blueface have shown time and again that they are not fit to be parents. The signs were there from the start, and now we're seeing the inevitable consequences of their reckless behavior. Remember the Walmart incident? Chrisean was dragging her son through the store, his little head dangerously unsupported in that baby carrier. It was the kind of scene that would make any decent parent's blood run cold. Yet she went on Instagram Live to defend herself, saying she was just a struggling mom who needed help. Sure, we can all have sympathy for a new mom under stress, but there's a line, and she crossed it. Then there's Blueface. What kind of father posts a photo of his son's herniated genitals online, even if his intentions were to shame Chrisean for missing a doctor's appointment? It's a gross violation of privacy and decency. And don't even get started on the rumors that the baby might have suffered from shaken baby syndrome or even fetal alcohol syndrome. Whether or not these whispers are true, the fact that people are even talking about these possibilities shows just how concerned the public is about this child's welfare. It's no wonder cenat has stepped in. A baby can't thrive in this kind of toxic environment. With both parents behind bars, what hope does Chrisean Jr. really have? From the looks of it, cenat is doing what they have to do, ensuring that this child doesn't become a casualty of his parents' chaotic lives. There's talk that a foster family is being lined up, but let's face it, the damage might already be done. And you have to wonder, if this child does end up in the system, how much of a chance does he really have? Now, let's rewind a bit and look at how we even got here. Blueface, as we all know, got himself a 4-year prison sentence for violating probation. That 2021 altercation with the security guard was the beginning of the end for him. He had his chance to clean up his act, to be there for his son, but instead he's behind bars again. His dad might be out here on social media crying for mercy, but at this point, who's listening? Blueface made his bed, and now he's lying in it. And Chrisean, her legal troubles are just as messy. It's not just the substance-related charges, it's the probation violations, the outstanding warrants, and that violent incident in 2023 that sealed her fate. She's facing up to 8 years in prison if convicted. 8 years, that's practically a lifetime in a child's world. By the time she gets out, her son will be, 8 or 9 years old. Will he even remember her? Or worse, will he remember her for all the wrong reasons? It's a tragic story, really, but one that's been playing out in front of our eyes for years. Chrisean and Blueface were always a volatile mix, their relationship marked by public fights, arrests, and constant drama. They thrived on the chaos, but now that chaos has consumed them, and the one paying the highest price is their innocent son. So where does this leave us? With a young couple both staring down years in prison and a child lost in the system, the outlook is bleak. Maybe Chrisean will get out sooner rather than later, as she seems to believe. But can you imagine the uphill battle she'll face to regain custody of her son, to prove she can be a fit mother after everything that's happened? And what about Blueface? He's facing years in prison, and when he gets out, what kind of father will he be? Will there even be a family left for him to come back to? The worst part of all this chaos is how those who should be rallying around Chrisean Jr. have seemingly turned their backs on him. It's as if everyone who could have made a difference has chosen to cash in on the drama instead. Take Blueface's family, for instance. His mother, Chrisean, who has never shied away from the spotlight, is now playing the sympathy card, desperately pleading for Kim Kardashian's help on social media. But let's be real, it seems more like a cry for attention than genuine concern for her grandson. Chrisean's actions, or lack thereof, are telling. She's been vocal on social media, shedding tears and calling out for help. But where was she when Chrisean Jr. needed her most? Instead of stepping in to care for her grandson when his parents hit rock bottom, she's been busy with her online rants, further fueling the public spectacle. And let's not forget about Blueface's father, Jonathan Porter, who also chimed in with his thoughts on his son's sentence. Yet his words seem empty, more like a bid for sympathy than an offer of support for his abandoned grandchild. It's as if they're all caught up in their own narratives, oblivious to the real tragedy unfolding before their eyes. Then there's Blueface's ex, Jaden Alexis. Given that she's the mother of 2 of his children, you'd think she might show some solidarity, if not for Chrisean, then at least for Chrisean Jr. But Jaden's response has been nothing short of cold. While Blueface was getting sentenced to 4 years in prison, Jaden was more focused on hitting the studio and making sure everyone knew she was unbothered. Her response to fans speculating about her happiness over Blueface's fate was scathing. She lashed out, insisting she wasn't happy about the situation, yet her actions tell a different story. Instead of offering any form of support, she's distanced herself, making it clear that her priority is her music career, not the fractured family left in the wake of Blueface and Chrisean's downfall. The fact that Chrisean Jr. is now reportedly in the system with no one stepping up to take him in speaks volumes. It's not just his parents who have failed him, it's the entire circle that should have been his safety net. This poor child, barely a year old, has been abandoned by the very people who should be fighting to keep him safe and secure. It's almost as if he's become an afterthought, a casualty of the endless drama that his parents and their entourage have been so eager to capitalize on. Fans have not held back their opinions, especially when it comes to Chrisean Jr., his well-being, and the role Jaden Alexis could play in this situation. One fan passionately remarked, "That baby is innocent, and Jaden is an awesome mama and would help her children's brother." However, not everyone is convinced that this is happening. Another fan voiced concerns about potential bias in Jaden's involvement, saying, "It's not Junior's fault, let him grow up with his siblings. You can still work, just take Junior there too when you're at work." I really hope this poor baby isn't getting treated